Hey guys, I hope y'all are doing all right today. So today we are going to move on and do lesson 1 of unit 1. You should have already set up your journal. You should have done your test objectives along with my video yesterday. And you should have started working on the unit 1 vocabulary. If you have any questions about any of those things, please reach out to me. Okay? If you don't have your journal set up yet, you need to get that done before you move on. So reach out to me if you're having issues. I will be more than happy to video chat with you. I can share my screen with you. You can share your screen with me. Whatever we need to do, we can get it done, taken care of. Okay. All right. So today, let's move our notes over and update our journals, and we're going to start some notes. So I made a video showing you guys how to copy notes over and update your table of contents. So I'm going to show you on this lesson. I'll probably show you on the next one again. And then from then on, if you need help, if you don't remember how to do it, go to that video. I've linked it to my homepage. So once you click home, there's a little image of a journal on my home screen. And if you just click on that, it will take you to the video. Okay. So here we go. In our module here, let's go ahead and click on Unit 1, Lesson 1. And we're going to do go here. It's going to open up the slides from our journal, for our journal. This is a view only, so you can't edit this. We're going to go ahead and copy these. So we're going to click with your mouse on the first one, make sure it's selected. Scroll down to the bottom and shift click on your Chromebook. On most computers, I'm using a MacBook and it's the same thing. If you click with 2 fingers, then it will, I did it wrong. Click on the first one, scroll down. If you click with 2 fingers, oh, I'm sorry. Oh my goodness, I'm tired and I missed a step. Scroll down, hit shift with your keyboard and press the last one, and it will select all of your slides. We'll get it together here in a second. So you're going to click on your first slide, scroll all the way down, shift click on the 4th slide. There we go. We've got all of them selected. Now click with 2 fingers, and that's a right click, and we can copy. So it's going to copy those slides. We're going to go to our journal, and we're going to go to the very bottom, and we're going to click to where we see this orange line down here. And we're going to click with 2 fingers again, right click, and paste. And it's going to paste those slides in there for us. We're going to do not link. We don't need to link it. Okay, so now it's added our Unit 1, Lesson 1 notes in here. Your topic, so when you fill in our table of contents still, your topic is going to be what you see on your lesson, okay? I will tell you guys the topic, unit number, lesson number, and topic at the beginning of each video whenever we add notes, okay? So this unit is Unit 1, this is Lesson 1, and we are simplifying expressions. Okay, remember we want to link that to that slide, so it's going to make it easy for us to go through our notes. So we can click on this insert link, the little paper clip up here. We don't want to link it to a website. We're going to do slides in this presentation, and our slides start on slide 4. So I'm going to apply. So this makes it easy for us to scroll through. I can just click here, go to slide 4, and it's going to take me straight to those notes. So obviously this slideshow is going to get pretty long, right? So lesson 2 is already going to be on slide 8. So it's going to make it easy for us to move around in our notes, okay? If we link every single lesson. Okay, so in our notes here, I feel like I'm missing something up here. We have some definitions. So I want to go ahead and add a text box. Let's put, I guess, off to the side here. Let's start a text box because I'm not really sure why it's not showing up. I think there's supposed to be a text box there. So just add a text box. You can click this little box with a T, add a text box. I think most of you guys know how to do that. And let's define these things. So we have variable. A variable is a letter that is used as a placeholder. I'm gonna make my font bigger. This is really tiny. So it's a letter used as a placeholder for a value we don't know. Okay, so it's a letter used as a placeholder for a value we don't know. We have term. You guys looked up these definitions to do the vocabulary already, right? So term. A term is a part of an expression I think that's the important part. It's a part of an expression. It can have a number and a variable. It can just be a variable, or it can be a. I'm gonna move this up here because I feel like I keep looking over there at the thing, and you guys are up here. It can have a number. It can have a number and a variable, or it can just be a variable. So it can be a number by itself. That is a term. So if we look at the, this is a trinomial here. If we look at this right here that we have, 9a is a term, -12 is a term, and 3y is a term. Okay, so the constant, this is, I'm going to get some space here between these. Constant is a number by itself, or a number without a variable. We also have coefficient. So coefficient is the number in front of a variable. This number tells us how many times we are adding or subtracting a variable. The number in front of the variable tells us how many times we're adding or subtracting a variable. So 9a means that we're adding 9 a's. Like if this was, if a was a cookie, this would mean we have 9 cookies. So if I added them all up, I would have a total of 9 of them. Okay, so it's adding or subtracting of the variable when we talk about the coefficient. We also have like terms. So this one we actually have a text box here to type here. So let's change that. Our like terms have to, in order for things to be like terms, they have to have the same variable, and this is important, and the same exponent. Okay, so in order for terms to be like terms, they have to have the same variable and the same exponent. So let's look down here. Let's see if we can figure out if these are like terms or not. This first box, we have 1/7 xy. So we're looking for the same variable, same exponents, okay? We're comparing 1/7 xy to 3xy. So our variable in the first one is xy. Our variable in the second one is xy. So these two things have the same variables. Even though there's multiple, there's two variables, they look the same. We have xy in one, we have xy in another. Their exponents are the same. So we don't have x squared y or xy squared. We just have xy and xy. They look exactly the same, so these are like terms. We're going to say yes, they are like terms. All right, 5 and -2. So like terms have to have the same variable and the same exponent. So these two numbers do not have a variable. So we say, yes, they are like terms because they both do not have variable. We can combine them. So we can do 5 minus 2 and get 3. We can put these things together. They're the same thing. Okay, 5 and -2 can be put together. This is like saying just 5 minus 2, okay? So yes, these are like terms as well. All right, the next one, we have 7w and 5w squared. So what do you guys think? Are these like terms? Do they have the same variable? Yes, they're the same variable. They both have w, but do they have the same exponent? 7w, the exponent up there, even though we don't see it, we understand there's a 1 here. And 5w squared, that has a 2. So these have the same variable, but they don't have the same exponent. So they don't meet our two requirements. They only meet one of them. So this is not like terms. And on this last one, we have our variables are z g cubed and z cubed g. So since the cubed is not on the same variable, these are not like terms. So again, here we're going to say no. These are not like terms because our variables, we have z and g in both of them, but the cube, the exponent is different. Ooh, I scrolled too far, sorry. Okay, so we're going to start simplifying expressions. So we're going to have a whole expression. There might be some pieces that are like terms. We're going to combine those like terms and we're going to simplify our expressions. So simplifying expressions, we simplify expressions by combining like terms. Combining like terms means that we are using addition and subtraction, mainly addition. We can just say we're adding things all the time. We're adding and subtracting the coefficients of each terms. So we're adding and subtracting the coefficients of terms. Okay. So a couple things to remember, or one thing to remember is the sign always goes with the number behind it. So if we look back up here, we had 9a, and then we have minus 12. So the sign, the minus sign, goes with the thing behind it. The minus sign doesn't go with 9a, it goes with 12. The positive sign, plus sign here, goes with 3y. So we have 9a minus 12 plus 3y. It goes with the number behind it, okay? And then we have some steps for simplifying expressions. Our first step is to look for parentheses. Our second step, if we see parentheses, then we need to distribute whatever's in front of the parentheses. And the third step is to combine like terms. So put the things that look the same together. So let's practice. So we have this little activity. I want you to pause the video and do this with me, okay? So the first term here, we're going to simplify the expression. So first we want to identify our like terms. So I don't have text boxes here. Should I? Okay. Oh yeah, we're going to drag and drop. Okay, here we go. Sorry. Y'all, I'm very tired. I need to stop making these videos so late at night. Okay, so we're going to identify our like terms. So what we're doing is looking through and seeing what things are the same, what have the same variable, and what have the same exponent. So while I'm looking, this has 7m. I'm going to just start putting purple circles around the things that have m, okay? So we have 7m. The next thing is 3m. So that is the same color. 5 is a different color that doesn't have an M with it. I'm going to kind of move it so I have the, okay. Then we have 6N, that's a different variable, so I'm going to change up my color again. We have negative 5N, that's the same variable as 6, so I'm going to leave that in green. And then negative 2, this doesn't have a variable with it, so I'm going to look back. I used orange for the thing that doesn't have a variable, so I'm going to put that orange around there. So my like terms, 7m and 3m. M is the same variable, it's the same letter. 5 and negative 2, and 6 and negative 5n. So we're going to group our like terms. So we're going to put things that are the same together. So we're going to, first, let's go ahead and start with m. So we want to put these things together. We have 7m and 3m. Those were our like terms. Then I'm going to go ahead and do I'm going to keep doing variables. So I'm going to do 6n and negative 5n. And then I'm left with plus 5 and minus 2. So all I've done is taken all my colors here and put them together. So I've got my purples together, I've got my greens together, and I've got my oranges together. I group my like terms. All right, so now I'm going to add the coefficients. So here for my m's, I have 7m plus 3. So if I have 7 cookies, or if you have 7 cookies and I give you 3 more cookies, how many cookies do you have total? Should have 10 cookies. 7 plus 3 is 10. So we have 10m. Then now we're going to look at the n's. So we have a 6n minus 5n. So this means you have 6 fruit roll-ups, and then you eat 5 fruit roll-ups. How many fruit roll-ups do you have left? So started with 6. You ate 5 of them. We have 1 left. So we have 1 in fruit roll-ups. Okay, and this last one, we have 5 minus 2. What is 5 minus 2? 3. So we should have 3. So now we're going to type our final answer. So our final answer, we have 10m. Then we have this 1n. Is this 1n positive or is it negative? It's positive. So we're going to do plus 1n. And do we have to write a 1 in front of this n? If I just had the n by itself, how many do we have? We understand that if I have n written, then there's just one of them. So we don't really have to type this 1. We can just leave it as n. I'm going to put some spaces here so we can see this better. So we can just write n by itself. And then we have 3. Is this 3 positive or is it negative? It's positive. So we're going to put plus 3. And that is our final answer. Okay? So let's look at this second problem. So we're going to do the same thing. First, we need to look for parentheses. Our steps up here, look for parentheses. So I do have parentheses here. This means I need to distribute. So I'm going to distribute the thing that's right in front of our parentheses. So right in front of our parentheses, we have a negative sign, and I want to distribute that through. Distribute means to multiply, okay? So this means I'm taking this negative, and I understand, we can go ahead and move this out of the way. This is kind of the concept we're doing. We can just delete that. We understand that there's this 1 here. Even though we don't see it, we understand there's a 1. So you can even take a little text box and say, even though I don't see it there, I know Miss Green told me that we have this understood 1, so that means I can write it there. I'm going to kind of move it over. I'm going to write a 1. Fit it right down in there. Okay? So I have this negative 1 that I need to distribute through. So I'm not doing anything with this negative 3x squared yet. I'm just distributing the thing right in front of the parentheses. So I'm going to bring the negative 3x squared down so I don't forget about it. And then I have negative 1, and I'm going to distribute it to negative 5x squared. So what is a negative times a negative? It's going to be a positive, so I'm going to have plus. What is 1 times 5? It's going to be 5. And then we are still multiplying by x squared, which we already have right here next to our box. We don't need to type that in. Sorry, forgot about that there. So we have negative 3x squared. Negative times a negative is a positive. 1 times 5 is 5, and we're still multiplying it. When I have a number right next to a variable, that still shows multiplication. So I'm still multiplying it by that x squared. So the next we're going to distribute is negative 1 to this positive 1. So what is negative 1 times positive 1? It's a negative times a positive. It's going to be negative, and 1 times 1 is 1. So we end up getting negative 3x squared plus 5x squared. We did negative 1 times negative 5x squared to get plus 5x squared. Then we did negative 1 times positive 1 to get negative 1. And then we still have this plus 4 that we brought down. So again, we're going to identify our like terms. So I'm going to go through here and say, well, here is an x squared term. Here's another x squared term. Here is a constant. And here's another constant. And then we can group them. So we still have looks like they're already grouped, so we're just going to keep them in order. Negative 3x squared plus 5x squared. Then we have plus 4 minus 1. Now let's do the thing. Let's do what it's telling us to do. We have negative 3x squared plus 5x squared. So if I have negative 3 and we add 5 to that, then how do we want to solve that? Another way to think about this, addition and subtraction are commutative, so I can change the order. So if it's easier for you to think about the positive thing first, so if I have 5 of them and then I'm subtracting 3 of them, how many do I have left? I have 2. So we have 2x. I'm going to do this shift 6 gives me this little caret and a squared because we can't really type math in here very well. So we had 5 of them. We took away 3 of them. And we're left with 2 of them. That's hard to do. Like, I'm looking at the screen. It's making me, okay. So remember that addition and subtraction is commutative. That means you can move them around. You can add them either way. So if you have a hard time thinking about a negative plus a positive, you can reorder it. Okay, you can put the positive number first and then subtract off the negative. Then make it a subtraction. Okay. All right, and then we have 4 minus 1, and 4 minus 1 is 3. So now we're going to type our answer. So we have 2x squared, and 3 is positive, so I'm going to say plus 3. Okay? How do y'all feel? You doing good? Hopefully you are. If you have any questions, please, please, please reach out to me, okay? I have no problems making extra videos. I have no problems video chatting with you. So whatever you need, I'm here to support you. See you guys soon.